Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to Madden 18 on EA Sports. In today's game, a very good defense will be on the field. The Giants are top 10 in fewest points allowed, and they'll be up against a Cowboys offense that wants to prove it can do some damage. For the call, let's send you out to the broadcast booth, where we'll join our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, you take a look at this Giants ball club. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Cowboys, they're halfway home, looking good at a perfect 8-0.
And not much to complain about so far, is there? I'd have to say they're the best team in the NFL through the first half of the year.
The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback. On 1st and 10, Larson firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll bring up a second down. Just 2 yards to go here on second down for the offense. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. He can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short. The handoff as they run the counter play. And not going to be able to push this forward. He runs into a wall right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. This will be fielded at the 17. A 46-yard punt, 8 yards on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. One up to about the 35. The numbers for him from a week ago: 18 carries, 103 in the yardage department.
And the way they ran the ball in last week's game has to be satisfying to their entire staff, because they're seeing not just a back gain big yardage, but they're seeing an offensive line really in sync.
This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity. And that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week. And right now, we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
See if they stay on the ground for second down. Looking to throw. Stone. And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do in that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Now they'll run it on the toss. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
So when you call a corner blitz, what a lot of teams call a cat blitz, you're expecting to come after the quarterback, but in this case, he ran into the ball carrier. Really nice technique, because what you do is you come deep as the deepest offensive player, so he can't get outside of you.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Stone trying to lay one up deep. A swing pass caught. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move this.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. A great effort there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Cowboys have taken the early lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Bailey now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Giants offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Now, let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That, too.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
On first down, Larson. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. So incomplete on first. Let's see what 2nd down has in store. They'll run it now out of the gun. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. The son Reddick in there yet again. What else is new as he continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks? This guy is in a zone. Remember, he had a sack hat trick last week. That got him NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Another one right here.
I love how you phrase that, in the zone, because I'm a firm believer that like a running back, like a quarterback, when guys get hot and get locked in, the same thing happens for guys getting sacks. Their moves are working, and they're getting home and putting guys on the ground.
And before the punt, time is going to run out on this first quarter. 7-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Giants with a football here as we begin quarter number 2, but likely not for long as they're in punt formation to kick it away. And the Giants send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the second time. And now a high kick trying to pin him back. This is taken at the 18. 51 yards on the punt there. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
Now a handoff looking right. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run it and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Play action. Stone. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position. Couldn't hold on. 3rd down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. To throw on 3rd down. Stone got his target, Samuel. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
Offense still needing 10 yards, 2nd down. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. Now they'll run it on the taunts. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance.
And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, You're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down. To throw on second down. Stone. This will be caught inside the 10. And they do stop him, but he takes it all the way to the 2. Give him 30 yards there.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Here we go. Only a yard on the pickup there. Second and goal.
He gets it halfway there with that run. I think you play up-tempo, get right back on the line of scrimmage, and hammer out him again.
A carry heading left, and he will take it in for a Cowboy score. A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Here's Bailey now for the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Bailey now to kick this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Giants offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to East Rutherford, but first this timeout. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular.
And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Hassan Reddick in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Well, first look at the NFL scoreboard comes from the Motor City. An early lead in that game for the Falcons. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Open now to get back in the end zone on his 4th. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Cowboys. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys will extend their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Bailey now to kick this one away. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense has done a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. False start's going to push him back, but these days, how hard must it be to be an offensive lineman?
It's very hard, Brandon. You've got defensive linemen flinching, trying to draw you offside. You've got the loud crowds, and there are just so many super athletic players on defense now that you have to deal with each week. But through it all, these guys just sit in there for 4 quarters and slug it out.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Looking to throw on second down. Larson, he's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. On third down, Larson. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. And the Giants send out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. And they must have seen something leading up to this one that said, hey, we're going to be able to go deep, because they've gone deep with a lot of success.
And pick your phrase, pick your code words, your buzzwords, whatever. Vertical stretch, deep passes.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number one. So the offense takes the timeout, and they are back out and ready to rock. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground.
Here we go. Flex round. Ohio.
Operating from the gun. Stone. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
To throw on third down. Stone is going to fire one deep over the... It's caught inside the 25. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done? Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Cowboys out on top. As we'll send you down the coast to Orlando, where we check in with our friend Larry Ridley and the EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. Let's take a look back at the first half. The Giants have really struggled out of the gate here. The Cowboys have done whatever they want, and they'll just try to keep that up in the second half. So here we go. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Cowboys now late.
Larry, go back to the green room, my friend. These guys are ready to go again. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. That worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it was the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
To throw on second down. Stone. He's going to air one out. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. The Cowboys on third down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 10. Now they try the right side here. Always got some breathing room. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 9 yards on the carry, but it's going to lead to a 4th down.
From this vantage point, they've got the lead here. So for me, that'd be enough to go ahead and punt the football and let my defense defend the long field.
If you go for it, you don't get it, then you really put your defense in a tight spot.
Yeah, but we never know what people ultimately will decide to do here on 4th and inches.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and they're able to convert here on 4th and inches.
4th and inches, does he get the first? You bet he does. He knows exactly where he needs to be, and he's going to fight his way forward to get a couple of yards and ensure he keeps the chains moving.
Now a handoff looking right, finding some room at midfield. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now a play fake here on first down. That's Samuel, caught left side. That goes for a gain of 31.
We just saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit them, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. In motion left, the tight end. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. A great effort there. With his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Cowboys continue to pour it on. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Bailey now to kick this one away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the 3rd quarter. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
Green Beckham has it over the middle. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
From the gun on 3rd down. Larson. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket to the right, to the left. Roll him out, bootleg him. Do some different things so they can't just rely on the fact that he's going to take 3 to 5 steps back in the pocket and line up.
There he goes left side. And he takes it all the way, but there is a flag down, so hold the celebration. This one's coming back.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
So a special teams mistake on a long butt return.
And think about the momentum that leaks out after that play, right? It's built up, terrific return, everyone's excited. But that flag on the ground can bring it way, way back.
a handoff as they run left side. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Off the play fake. Stone. Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Throwing on first down. Stone. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
And that one is incomplete. He just dropped it. But they're up big on the scoreboard, so maybe he can chuckle about later.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel. Out now comes the Cowboys punter. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the fourth quarter. And this one's going toward the sideline. They'll try to play keep away from Beckham. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. And the Giants ready to come out now. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
And tough starting field position here. Going to give this time to the tailback. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here.
All right, here we go.
And he'll give it here to his running back. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
The Giants on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Back to throw. Larson. And he finds Daniels. And he will have the first down as he's up to his 17-yard line. From the gun, Larson. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Hassan Reddick able to disrupt yet another pass play. His 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up.
And he lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. The Giants on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 11.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Operating from the gun, Larson. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40. Curtis Samuel and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Off play action. Stone going for the deep ball. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. And he is down deep into Giant territory. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve.
Ohio, here we go. Flex round, flex round.
And they'll bring the big tight end across the formation left. Now they'll run it on the toss. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Bailey now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Here we go now. Blue landed.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Larson. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Fresh set of downs here.
Here we go. Blue landed. Blue landed.
Looking to throw. Larson. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Let's go. Green, 39.
To throw on 2nd down. Larson caught left side. It's Beckham. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. And looked like some movement there. Let's get the call.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Single receiver. Hey, you're on an island over there. Single receiver. All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Back to throw. Larson under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Let's go.
Looking to throw on second down. Larson. It's caught right side by Daniels. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
23 yards on the play.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now, they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. Looking to throw. Larson. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. To throw on 2nd down. Larson. And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a 1st down.
Face mask. Defense.
So that one will be accepted. On 1st and 10, Larson, he's going to let it fly. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on. They just play better and better.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
Now whistles here and a flag down. I think a Giant jumped early.
Offense.
And that'll set him back 5. The Giants on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be 3rd and 15.
All right, here we go.
From the gun, Larson. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And now nothing but green ahead of him. He's at the 40, 20, 10. And he will score. Touchdown, Cowboys. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
extra point try by Bailey. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Watch that in. Watch that in. That is right. That is right. Here we go. Boom,
now whistles here and a flag down. I think a Giant jumped early.
False start, offense.
So that'll back him up 5.
Here we go.
Operating from the gun, Larson. And he's able to get this one up to the 45-yard line. So, Charles, are able to complete what so often seems to be elusive, a shutout in the NFL. And maybe what's fitting is they ended the game on the field, that defensive unit on the field. What an exclamation mark.
And probably felt like they could go another 60 minutes without anyone putting points on the board against them. That's the confidence you gain throughout when you're pitching a shutout. And they're going to leave the stadium feeling like they're all 10 feet tall.
So for the Cowboys, the train just keeps rolling. 9-0 now to start this campaign. And they'll have another road date next week with the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, for the Giants, the turnaround hasn't materialized as they fall to 2-7. And they'll try to rebound next week on the road in Washington. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we say so long from MetLife Stadium.